Okay, hello. This should be the last video that we're gonna do. I will do one after I have my box completely, you know, the words. I have the words decorated. So, first thing we're going to do is I'm gonna show you this little extra bit. I went ahead and put one of them together. I know on the cut list, I said to do 2 of each. That's only if you want to make 2 of these. If you don't, if you only need one little extra bit to put in your book, then you only need to do 1. So I came up with this idea in my sleep one night. Not in my sleep, but I was pretty doggone close to it. So I little sketched it out with my finger on my phone. Then I sat down and you can see all the mistakes that I made putting it together. But I went ahead and cut everything out. And so here it is that I have made some changes to what I had on here. So I had to change some of the measurements, and that's just because once I actually put it together, I realized part of it is we can see what we're doing back here, and I don't want that. So we fixed that in the tutorial I'm going to do today. But this is what it should do. So we'll have magnets here. It looks like a simple, you know, envelope pocket. We're going to open it up. We can slide this out and it will stop. It's not going to go further. And then in here, we will have another part that will open. But as you can see, my part that will make it open is bigger than it should be. So, yeah. The good thing about all the measurements you've done is nothing needs to be larger. So if you have already cut the extra bits, there will be some trimming involved, but you will not need to recut all the parts, okay? So there is that. But before we do that, in case we have, well, or for the people who don't want to mess with the extra bit, if you're already overwhelmed with all the magnificent stuff we have done, I'm going to move you out. Hold on. If you are already done and you're ready to decorate your book, we're going to install our pages first, and then we'll go and do the extra bits, okay? So we have out our box. We're going to go ahead and open her up. Mine has set overnight, so everything is good and ready. So first, let's get our front and backs. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put these in. These were our front and back covers that we did. And as you can see here on the front, we still have some wiggle room, but I didn't want to make anything too big. So I'm going to go ahead and peel off my stickers, my tape. If you're using glue, now's the time to slather it in glue. And I am going to center it in here the best I can. There we go. So now I'm just going to press down. Go ahead and lift up all of my, and push that all down, get those air bubbles out. All right, so that part is ready. Now I'm going to slide over here. Now remember, if you haven't put your little feet in, if you're going to do that, now's the time to do that, because we're getting ready to cover all of that up. I'm going to hopefully turn these there, because I want to make sure they are covered up. So I'm just going to put them all facing the same direction and it will be fine. So when I put this on here, they are all covered. So we will tear off the tapes. Okay, and then I'm going to center that on here. All right, push everything down so that I know everything is connected. There's no air bubbles in there. And now that we can see this put in here, you can see why we didn't want something over here that is going to have to be laying flat, because we have our lips for our top. Whereas over here, I can pull stuff out and I've got plenty of room because our flap folds down. Oh, for the love of peanuts. You know, you make it extra wide so that everything will fit and it still wants to be persnickety. Nope. All right, so now let's go ahead and get out our pages. So here is our page 1, 2. There is 3 and 4, 5 and 6. There is 7 and 8. And we are going to start with 7 and 8. So I need to go ahead, I have that score line that we did on our base pages. We just put one score line. We're going to go ahead and fold that. Doesn't matter which way you fold it because the page is going to be able to turn left and right. Okay. So I am going to go ahead and I'm going to, here's my page 7, and I'm going to push this to the back, my flap. Okay, I want it facing towards 8 because that is going to go right on my spine. Hold still, I'm going to bring you in close. Okay, so here's my spine. And I am going to slap the ribbon. I am going to put this right up next. There's my crease. And I'm going to put it, about 2/8 back. Okay. So, go ahead and get out my glue. Get that put on there. We're not going to play around because this is a page. There we go. And I'm going to center that top to bottom. Oh, just like that. And then now I'm going to take some time to push everything down, make sure it is connecting and staying. Get our little handy dandy out. Oh, for the love. Just keep pushing that down. Okay. So there is page 7 and 8. Here we have 6. This is page 5. I have it pushed to the back, and we're just going to put that right up next to the other one. Right up next to 7 and 8. Push that right down, so that gives us a 1/2 inch gusset, not gusset, but you know, space between each page. And just like I did, I'm just going to keep pushing until I know it is down and connected. Now again, if this was a book that I was going to have standing up on a shelf, I would not do the pages this way. All right, here is 4 and 3. So I'm going to go ahead and put my glue. All right. Same deal, put it right up there next to that spine. There we go, right up next to page 5. Yup. And there is that one. One more. Page 2 and page 1. So again, I've got this going to the back. We're just going to slide it up next to page 3. Push down. Oh, that's too close. Don't be stuck. Oh my gracious. There we go. There we go. Now we're even. So I'm just going to keep pushing that down, applying pressure. And there is page 1. Now we do have this bit right here where we have some space left. And that is where I am going to end up putting this little extra bit that I made. So it will fit right here and we will still have a scrimmaging of space. It's just a fun little, you know, bonus. Who doesn't want extras? So I'm just going to go back over these. And then we are going to work on making that extra bit. Oh, that is a good page. Okay. And the ribbons. So there is our book. Hold on, I'm going to move you out again. Oh, that's too much. Wrong one. There we go. You, my dear sweet friends, have made a book in a box with an easel top. Did you ever think you were going to be able to do something like that? I knew you could, because if I could do it, you could do it. So then we open it up and we have all of our beautiful pages. We have our sideways. Oh, I made that tight, didn't I? Holy cow. It just needs to be worked. There we go. It just needs to be done a few times. Pushed and pulled, pushed and pulled. Holy guacamole. There we go. Our page 2 with the flippity flaps and all of the flip and flip and flip. And here's our double hidden closure belly band with all kinds of room. There we go. And then these are our flip down, flip ups. I love to hear those snaps. And here we have a booklet that opens and then it spins down. And what does this do? I know I should know. Oh, that's right. It's the upside down pocket. Oh. Nope, that's this page. Then we have this. And then we have the floating pocket. And here we have our stacked movable pockets, because we can put things in here. And then we have the Big Daddy. Flip, flip, flip. I'm going to tie this so that when I open and close my book and my pages, it doesn't get bent. And I will probably, when I am done decorating, I will take these little ends. I will shorten them, but I will dip these little ends in wax and then roll them up. And that will help them to not be all frayed. And then there is our back with another pull-out. This book is going to hold so many pictures. So many pictures. All right, so if you are done and not wanting to do the extra bits, just let me say right now, I am super proud of you for being able to do this. I know sometimes my instructions can be challenging. I'm sorry, you should live inside my brain. But I knew you could do it, and you did. And you've even got a secret place to add more pictures if you wanted to in your pocket. We do need to cover that. So, good job. Now, if you are staying to do the extra bits, we're going to do that right now. So, this is going to be our little extra bit, our bonus. It's going to have a pull-out. It will slide back in. These things that I have pulling out and flipping and all that, they work a lot better whenever you use plain, regular cardstock, my black cardstock, because it is so smoothed instead of being all rough and fibrous, for lack of a better word. All right, I'm going to move you close if you need to look away. Where are we? There we go. Yeah, so that's why some of mine tend to struggle a little bit. So we will have this. We're going to have an extra little part that flips open once you pull it out. And on the back, we can either leave it as is or we can put a pocket. I have it down for both. So I'm going to put that to the side. And let's get out our pieces. All right, hold on. Let me hang this up so I can see. This is my little sheet. I hang it up on my light. And that way I can see better. Oh, I've probably gooped up my glue. I got problems, friends. I got problems. But they're doable. They are manageable. All right. So we have A, and there are no changes to A. So we have 6 3/4 by 7 3/8, and we are going to score at a 1/2 inch on the left-hand side. Okay. I always forget that you're all the way up here in the white square whenever I move you in close. And it's because if I have it situated further back, because there's another, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 inches that I'm having to come up to just to get to here. It's female troubles. Then whenever I leaned over, you would see my boobs would be hanging out on the thing. Not hanging out, but you know, they would be on the table. So that's why I have to remind myself that you're in the square. It's either that or else, I'm being obscene, and I don't want to be obscene. All right, so here we have A2, and this is 6 3/4 by 8 3/8. and we are going to score at a 1/2 inch on the top, the left, and the bottom. So this one did not have any changes to the size. And I will eventually figure out how to make these on a smaller scale. But again, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I also almost accidentally adopted a dog the other night at 1 o'clock in the morning. And I say accidentally because I hadn't talked to my husband about it yet. But I was notified the next morning that she had already found her forever home. So we're all good. All right, and then we have B, which I had down as 8 1/2, but it needs to be 8 1/4. Okay, I have it written down wrong. So we need to take off 1/4. So let's move everything around. So 7 1/4 is correct, but 8 1/2 needs to become 8 1/4. Okay, and I may have had my directions written. I may have it written wrong on here. Hang on. Yes. So this, my husband's on the back porch and you can hear the water. Sorry about that. So this is 8 1/4 by 7 1/4. Okay, 8 1/4, 7 1/4. And we are going to score at 2 1/4 on the right. So this piece is this one right here. So the 2 1/4 is our little closure. Okay, so 2 1/4. I'm going to go ahead and fold that over. And that is the only score line we are doing on that part. Okay. Now we have B2, which is 5 3/4 by 7 1/4. And this one we are going to have to trim down, but we won't know where to trim it down until we put everything together. But we can go ahead and score it at a 1/2 inch on the left. All right, and then we have D, which I have down as 5 by 2, but we actually need to make this 1 1/8. So there it is as a 2, and we are going to take it down to 1 1/8. And this one we are going to score at 2 inches and at 4 inches. And then this piece we're going to fold over at the 2 and we're going to put glue on the, okay, here's our 2 inch, here's our 4 inch. We're going to put glue where that 4 inch was. Ooh. So now we've made a little ring. Right, a little cuff. All right, and now we have C, which we have at 1 7/8, but we need to take it down to be 1 inch. So it is 7 1/4, and we need to make it 1 inch instead of 1 7/8. So C has now become 7 1/4 by 1, and we are going to score at 1/2 inch on the left and the right. What have I done? I did that wrong, didn't I? Poop. So, take your little ring. Can we fix it? We can. All right. So I cut. We're just going to start over again. Sorry, guys. Grab a scrap piece. This is 1 inch. So we need, let's cut 1 inch. Get a long piece of paper, long scrap, cut at 1 inch. And then we need it to be 1, 2, 3. So let's do it by 3 1/8. Okay, so now we have 3 1/8 by 1. All right, so our little piece, we are going to score at 1 inch. And at 2 1/8. Hold on. Because I shortened the wrong thing. 3, right? 3 1/8. So here is D. Here is C. The long flap is C. This is 3 1/8 by 1. We are going to score at 1 and 2. Sorry. Here is C, which is 7 1/4 by 1. We're going to go ahead and fold our little tabs back. Okay. And here is D, which is 1 by 3 1/8, and we scored at 1 inch and 2 1/8. So we're going to fold this. Okay. We're going to put some glue on the back of our first tab. Yep. All right, and now we have made another little ring, but this one is the correct size. And we are going to slide that right onto here. Just like that. And this is how we are going to get our moving piece. So this is what I did wrong earlier. I had this 2 inches, so I was missing out on an extra inch. It was going to stop the page at 2 inches from the end instead of 1. Again, my sleep. All right, so there is that. And then our last piece to score is E, and it is 6 3/4 by 8 3/8, and we are going to score at 1/2 inch on the top, the left, and the bottom. Okay, we are done with our school boards. I'm going to knock off those corners. I'm going to go ahead and fold my lines. This is going to be the last thing I put on. This is that big pocket for the back. Actually, it's not going to be the last thing. It's going to be one of the first. Sorry. Okay. So this is A. We're going to build our movable pocket on the front, and we've got this pocket that is going to go on the back if you so choose. Now I made mine as tall, but I think I'm actually going to make it shorter just because you don't have to. I'm going to make mine about 3.5 inches. So my flap is down here. Okay. And I am going to cut this at 3.5. Again, you don't have to if you want a tall, deep pocket. You just leave it right where it is. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on. So I was talking about the wildfires we had. They said today that 38 homes were burned. And we have another potential for extremely high winds and tornadoes on Tuesday. And I really need it to be on a Monday or a Friday, and I'm going to tell you why. If we're going to have it, that's when I need it. Because my sweet little puppy dog is scared to death of the storms. And so if neither one of us are going to be home, and my husband's usually home on Mondays and Fridays, I don't have to, but because I love her, I leave lights on, I leave the TV on, I have to put blankets in the bathtub, because I don't know who she lived with before, but whenever she starts hearing thunder and all the wind, she goes and tries to hide in the bathtub. Smart dog. But she doesn't know how to get out of the bathtub. So I put blankets in there and usually a little bowl of water. And if she would learn to go potty in there, I would be thrilled. because I worry that she, you know, is stuck in the house all day. So here's our B, and I'm going to go ahead and fold those lines. This is B2. Here is B1. And here is A. So let's go ahead and get A. We're going to fold our score lines. Oh, Missy, those are sleepy eyes, Bubby. Go back to sleep. Get those all pushed down. So here's our pocket. We're going to turn our page over, and we are only going to connect this this left flap of A2. We're going to put it right up there and connect it, okay? So, putting only on the left score portion. Take my bottom left point, line it up, follow along the bottom, and then up the side. I don't want to be on that score line. Okay, we want this to be able to stand up. Now push that down, make sure everything's good and connected. Okay, so here's our flap, there's our pocket, and here we have A2 and our base. All right, so now we are going to take this, and we are going to attach it. Well, first, I want to turn this over and make sure that I don't have any parts sticking out up here. I did earlier, so I had to cut it on my practice piece. So we're good. I'm going to take B with the flap, and on the back side of it, okay, so here's the flap. I am going to find the center, which is going to be 3 5/8 from the bottom. I'm going to mark that and do the same thing down here, 3 5/8. Okay, so here's our flap, and I've marked, I've gone up 3 5/8 and 3 5/8. No, I didn't. There we go. Okay, so now I have my center here and my center here. Now we're going to take our little thing that we made, and we are going to mark its center, and it's just 1 inch. So we're going to mark it at 1/2 inch. There's 1/2. Okay. Because we want this centered on the back of B. Oh, for the love, I forgot to shorten this. I am so sorry, guys. Cut off your tab. I am sorry. Bring back out your scoreboard and the part that I just cut off. Okay, so here's our tab. I need to make this a 1/2 inch shorter. So I cut off this tab. Now I'm going to score it a 1/2 inch. Jeez Louise. Missy. And then I'm going to mark my 1/2 inch here. Okay. Okay, so now it will fit. I forgot that whenever we shortened the B, that I needed to shorten this. Okay, so we are going to put this, we want, here's the flap, okay? We want one side of this all the way over to the side opposite of the flap. So if this is the flap, and the flap is down, we want this all the way, our flap's on the right, we're gonna put this all the way to the left. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little glue down. We're only gonna glue down this one side first. All right, so get that even, line up your half marks. All right, now, because I don't want this slider thing getting caught on that, we're gonna open this up and get out our handy dandy tape, and we're gonna cover that. And that is gonna help this slide right up over that, okay? I'll be right back. I gotta go close the window. Missy, what are you doing? You're just enjoying the sunshine. Come on. Silly, silly dog. That's what I figured. Mr. Kitty Kitty was out there. Mr. Kitty Kitty lives under the house. He doesn't like human contact, but he does like to eat the rodents, so I'm happy with that. All right, so we have our tape here. Now we're going to put this down. We're going to line it up the best we can. Oh, nope. First, I'm going to get a piece of tape. And with... how am I doing this? I am going to put the tab. Okay. You see what I'm doing here? Bringing the tab, but I'm going to put the tape over the tab, under the tab. Okay, like this. So here's the sticky side. So whenever I glue this down, that tape will do just like this did. So this is the sticky side. I'm putting tape on the glue on the tab because I want to make sure it stays. I'm asking a lot of that tab. Then I'm going to stick her down, line her up, and now she has a new home right there. Okay. So here's our piece B. This is my flap. I folded it down, then I turned it over. I put, what is that? C. First I folded up D, and I put D onto C. Then I put C down, and I made sure to put tape over the insides, our little flaps that hold it down right in there, because this is how our page is going to move, and I hate getting hung up on that. Okay, so we're going to set that to the side a minute, and now we're going to get out our A. Here's our pocket. This is A2 that we didn't glue all the way down, and I am going to put tape over this for the exact same reason that we did the others. Plus, you know, I love my Scotch tape. There we go. And that is going to help when our part is sliding in and out. That is going to help to not get hung up on that. Now, we are going to take and slide this all the way up to the front. Okay, this is the part where we have a little gap between where our flap is. We want to bring that all the way to the front. And we are going to center it in here where our flap is just above A. This is our base. Okay, so I'm going to have it, let me go. I'm leaving just enough room there because I need for this to have room to fold over. All right, and to test that, I'm going to hold it right there. I'm going to open up my flap, and I'm going to fold A over. And see, now I've got enough room to close it, because this is going to be our closure. So, just a little bit of room. Now, since I've got it where I want it, I am going to turn this over, and I am going to put glue on the front of that little tab that we made. I'm going to keep it pulled all the way up as far to the top as it will go. Center this back down, and I'm going to push that tab down. Yeah. So make sure that is done. Now we are going to carefully put our glue on these, and I'm going to do mine one at a time. I will put the glue, here, watch me do this first. There, I have my glue on one tab for the side. I'm going to bring this up, and I'm going to make sure that B goes behind it. And then I'm going to close. Okay. I'm going to smush that side down. Make sure that B can move in and out. Hold on. This is the only reason why I hate using craft paper. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing. This is our other side. So this side is glued down. Now I need to put some glue on this side. So I am folding it in. Remember, B needs to be underneath those flaps. I've got it folded in. I'm going to lift up and put my glue on there. And I can see what I'm doing. So my big fat fingers are in the way, so I'm going to move them. There we go. Making sure that B stays under the flap. Now I'm going to close it. And I am going to smush the bejeebies out of it. Okay. Now here is my B. There we go. All the way out. Okay, and then we can, there she goes. Slide her back in. There. So the more practice you get, the more you do it, the more those sides will wear down, and they will get to where it runs very smoothly. All right, so let's go ahead and put our magnets on. I'm just going to do one. So there is that. Okay. Now I can slide this out. And what I need to do is decide where this would go. And I want it to be right about there. And I say there, I have pulled B out as far as I can. And that is where this is going to come in. Now, I told you at the beginning we were going to have to trim this down. So I'm holding it up here and finding where my score line is on my closure flap. And I'm going to cut it just short of that. And I will tell you what that is. So here's my flap. And I am taking off, let's see. Oh, I don't have to do that. So we are going to make it, I am cutting at 5 1/8. So with the flap open, cut at 5 1/8. And that gives us 4 5/8 for our picture. So we can fit a 4 by 6 on here. Okay. So with this open, we cut at 5 1/8. And there's our hot mess done for the day. So I am going to slap some glue down. I hope this hasn't been too painful of an experience for you. Right? I want to make sure that I can open, but I also need to be able to close this. So not right on that score line. Open this up and smush, smush, smush. Okay. I'm going to wiggle it back in. And I say wiggle because we're still learning. There it goes. We did it. Do you remember Saturday Night Live whenever they had Sister Mary Catherine? Superstar. That's how I feel right now. I feel accomplished. We can do hard things. All right, let's put this bad boy in the book. Here's our box. I am going to take this lovely little extra bit that we just did, and it is going to go right here, just like we did all of our other pages. And you can do it down, you can do it up, you can do it in the middle. I'm going to put mine cattywampus because sometimes I like to mess with my OCD and prove that I can do things in an unorderly fashion, because normally it would need to go directly in the middle, but I'm going to do it slightly askew. Yep. And now we just have a little bit of extra. Right there. my gosh, we did it. We did it. We did it. We did it. Hooray. There is our book in a box with 4 interactive pages, an interactive inside, front and back cover, and an interactive little bit to go with it. A bonus bit, if you will. So, we have done that. Yippee skippy. I do already have plans for the next book. And it is going to be just a regular 8x8, maybe 8.5 by 8.5. But it will be good for, I did it originally as a retirement gift that I gave last year. So it was originally done in school paper. So I will go back and find that video and put it up. And that is the one, I won't be doing it next weekend because next weekend is Easter. But I am off that whole week after Easter. And so I should be able to knock that out. Oh, excuse me, pretty quickly. Yeah, so well done. Thank you for hanging out with me and my inability to speak coherently. I appreciate you more than you will ever know. I hope you had fun making this, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.